Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel, Hit on Joe Collectible Chronicles. And on my channel, I try to do all things collectibles. A lot of things I have came in contact with that I wanted to collect. So I got something in the mail today. This is something that's pretty much pertaining to the topic. It's something I wanted to collect for a while, and I thought about doing content on it, but I kept kind of getting sidetracked with it, doing other things. And I want to show y'all what it is and why I think it's worth collecting. And we'll talk about it. Let me give you a little backstory about me. I've always had a strong love for comic books. Like the characters, the stories, everything like dealing with it. It was like one of the things I used to read to escape, all the stuff, my childhood, things that were going on in the streets and all that I was trying to stay away from. So this kind of kept me out of trouble, kept me sane. Between 1994 and 1996 was my best time, like when I was collecting. During this time, I collected a lot of stories, Age of Apocalypse. I had, the Death of Wolverine. I had a lot of Batman comics, the DC 52. I had, a lot of stuff for Harley Quinn. During this time, I also had another friend who was also in the same things. He collected a lot of comics. He had, a lot of figures that we both collected at the same time, competing, just trying to see who get the most stuff. And he came across like these X-Men trading cards. It was like the 1994 Fleer Ultra trading cards, 1993. He had a whole assortment of those. I remember being like so jealous the fact that he had all the cards. He had the whole set, and I was like, dude, how'd you get the whole set? But he was able to get them because he stayed like closer to the mall. So like a lot of the places he was around, they sold the cards. And the way how it was with the cards was you had to buy like all the individual packs, and you didn't even know what cards was in the pack. So a lot of times you would get doubles and things like that. So it took a lot of time and a lot of money to be able to acquire like the whole sets. So he was able to do it. So I started thinking, with all the stuff going on in the arcade community, all the crazy stuff, and me waiting on caps to come out, I started thinking, why not try to collect the whole set and then, get a binder and put it in. So that's what I did. Starting the collection with my favorite ones. This right here is a 95 Sheer Ultra Spring Break cards. These cards was like really hard to find. And my friend, he only had a few on, but I was able to acquire like all of them from this guy I had met. So I got Bishop, Gambit, Rogue, Iceman, Professor X, I got Rogue, I got Storm over here, Scott and Jean. I got Wolverine over here eating these sausage dogs. These cards are like really hard to find, but I just can't leave out here to find all of them. So I thought that's pretty amazing. I have all the cards in order, and it's only like 9 of them. But like I said, you had to buy like a bunch of different packs to try to get them, and I was able to find them just out the blue. So in order, I have Cyclops, I have Rogue, Beast, I got Gambit, Jubilee, Wolverine, and then I have Psylocke, I got Ravage, and Banshee. These are all 93. These are the 94 Sheer Ultra cards I have right here. And then when you flip the cards over, it shows their powers, their abilities, and a little bit of their backstory. And back in the day when we was doing our little thing that we was doing, like we was doing this little game we used to make up called the Trad Wars. We like played with figures because I was like 13, 14, 12 and everything. We used to sit up here and make everything off of these characters right here. So you see you got Professor X, you got Nightcrawler, you got Phoenix, and all their powers, Archangel, Bishop, Iceman, Sabretooth, Jean Grey, Storm. So I like how the cards like break down their powers, and it gave you just enough to like be able to run with it. Then you had Shadowcat, you had Domino, you had Cable. I like the design with Cable with the bullets shooting all around. You got Shadow Star. You got Warpath. You got Boomer, who can make little smart bombs. You got Cannonball, who is pretty much instructing when he moving. Siren and Sunspot. And the artwork of these cards was amazing. It was like literally like it took it like a smaller version of the comic book and just made it on a card. It's basically what they did. But it just, just cool just seeing how they drew them. And you had different artists who drew them and tell you about them. So you got Riptor, you got Havoc, you got Polaris, you got Forge, you got Strong Guy, Wolfbane. These are all X Factor characters. You got Multiple Man, you got Random, you got Quicksilver doing the mid run. You got Random. And then, like I said, it breaks their powers down. The Laundra was a card I had wanted too. That was one of my favorite ones that my friend had. And I was shocked that I was able to get that one. Like now it's so different because you can get the whole thing. So then it goes to Sunfire, Weapon X, Grizzly. Like I said, this artwork is amazing. You got GW Bridge, which I didn't know too much about him. Hammer, Maverick. You got Extreme, Copycat, and Colossus. So flip that over, and I guess I got all of them in order, as you see: 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. This is exactly how I want them to be. You got Magneto, Mr. Sinister, Deadpool, and then we got a nice one of Juggernaut. You got Cyber, Apocalypse. Cyber got adamantium skin, one of Wolverine's villains. You got Arcade, you got Mystique. You got Sauron from the Savage Land. And like I said, this is just a cool thing to me to be able to have all these cards like this. It's like a childhood dream come true that I was able to do this. And it was funny because it just took so long for me to think about doing it. You got Strife, you got White Queen, you got Haven, you got Exodus that used to be with Magneto, you got Ahab, you got Executioner, Black Tom Cassie to be with Juggernaut. You got Pyro. You got Mega Red, one of Wolverine's arch enemies. And like I said, break their powers down. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain, man. Like the feeling of having these cards. But it's a small thing, but it was worth it to me. You got Gideon, Game Master, Sebastian Shaw, Great and Creed, the one who was over the Sentinels. You got Fritz Roy. You got Serena Blaze, you got Slay Bridge, and it's just, I don't know, man, but I do want to try to collect more of these cards. Like, I'm going to try to get like the 93s if possible, so I'm going to see how that goes. You got Wildside Reaper, Forearm, which I guess they call him Forearm because he got forearms. I don't know too much about him. Ludicrous, Moonstar, Region Fire. You got Cyclops, you got Iceman, and the original Angel, which I like the artwork with those. I like how you flip it over, it gives like a little backstory of the story. This right here is the teams, the original team, Beast, Marvel Girl, which was Jean Grey, you got Professor X, you got the Mutant Massacre. This was start going to the stories. All the mutants, Inferno, the X-Gender. And like a lot of the big, massive stories in X-Men, they actually put them on the cards as well. So that was kind of cool. You can read about the stories, get like a real quick little few paragraphs of it. You got the X-Men Gold team, all the members that was on there. And then, it's like 2 characters per card of the teams. I got all of those. The beautiful artwork with that. Then it goes into X-Force, which is another team. A team that the government had made of mutants, kind of like trying to copy the X-Men. Then, actually, I think that one was Cable's team. I think X Factor might have been, I'm not sure. So then you got the wedding of Cyclops and Jean, which was a big story in the comics. And then right here, I think you go to the deceased cards. Like all these characters right here, deceased. Magic, Warlocks, Cyber, Maestro, Sebastian Shaw, Mimic, Dark Phoenix. Yeah, all these characters are deceased. So I guess it lets you know that what characters didn't make it through all the stories that's happened in the comics, and you can kind of like look back at it and see like how did they die, and it's kind of interesting. You see how powerful they was, and they still was taken out. These cards right here are the battles that Wolverine has had. You know, when he versus Sabretooth, he versus Cyber, he versus Mega Red, versus Hulk. That Hulk hard go hard. You got the Wolverine versus the Thing. You got Wolverine versus Spider-Man. You got Wolverine versus Silver Samurai. You got the Hellfire Club. Like Wolverine had a bunch of matches, man. He didn't win. He didn't win against the best, and that's still in all the things he had. Cause there's one comic where he destroys the whole Marvel universe. But you got what was that Thunderbird right there on the end? That's kind of how they had it, but pretty much, you know, that's how they did it. So this right here is the cards. More Wolverine battles. He versing Cable, like he versing Punisher. He's versing Lady Deathstrike, and then I think it's like 2 more where he's versing I don't know who that guy is right there, and he's versing Sauron. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then like the last thing you get this card right here, and this one right here pretty much tells you all the cards that they have in the order they're in. That way, if you're missing a particular card, you can look back and say, oh, 54 is this character or whatever. You can go get it. And then show you the order that you have to put them in to have it to be in order. So it's pretty neat. These right here are all my doubles. I ended up getting doubles because when I first decided to start doing this, I had went to this guy, this collector, and I had bought it from him. But I plan to put more cards right here and collect more. I appreciate y'all checking out my collection of my Flair Ultra cards. And, you know, you get the chance, you know, tell me what you think. You know, if you think it's a good thing to collect. If not, you know, then put it in the comment section as well. You know, on my channel, you know, I try to do, you know, an array of things that I like to collect. You know, just different things in general. Just not always the same thing over and over again. Just a whole bunch of stuff that I find interest in. I want to share with y'all. Also, I want to say, for everybody out there, you know, all the brave women and men out there who serve with the military, you know, happy 4th of July. I have to say for myself, my own personal experience, I have never served with the military, but, you know, at one point I did think of it, I did consider it. But I was able to find an alternative way to provide for my family, so I didn't have to go that route. I think that's a really heroic thing to do, and it takes a special person to be able to do that, to put their life on the line and go into a battlefield, you know, for your country, and just, you know, following orders and just doing what you got to do to protect, you know, the citizens, the other people that's not even there, that you putting your life on the line for. So, you know, big ups to everybody in the military for doing that right there, and really appreciate that. Thank you for watching my channel. I got more content coming soon. And until next time, peace.